Golden Growth Fam, welcome back to another episode of Talking Outside the Box podcast. And we're here to tell you today that everything that you've been told in your life, in your youth, was a lie. Now, you might be thinking now, okay, what exactly is he talking about? I'm talking about the societal expectations that was placed upon you. First off, we got to talk about the traditional sense of a job means security. A job is everything. And if you have that, you're fine. You'll forever be happy. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, let's start from the top, right? Let's look 1980s, not even that long ago. You will have a housewife,
Yes.
3 kids, and a husband that's got a teacher's job, right?
Yes.
You've got a 4-bedroom home, you've got 2 cars, all the groceries are paid off.
Yes.
I mean, let's say, for example, in today's world, right?
Yes.
You've got 2 teachers. You're not even able to afford a house. Like, you
Yeah.
have to pay rent.
Yes.
And the problem is, it's not something that's going to go away.
Yeah.
You have to save up just to buy a house, and
Yes.
it's saving like 20 years
Yes.
with two teacher salaries.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you look at it now, I think you can see that the workforce in general is becoming older and older. It's like people aren't able to retire as quickly as they were retiring back then. And I think it's because of the fact that, you have to do all the saving up, you have to cover your expenses, and with inflation just crazy these days, it's hard to keep up. I mean, as you said, you got to pay rent, you got to pay your car payments, you got to purchase food. It's crazy. So
I mean, just look at inflation. You just
Yeah.
mentioned that word. I don't know if everyone knows what it is, but that's basically the value of money depreciating.
yes.
And inflation, right, against credit of bank, or let's say, what's the word you get in your savings? Yeah, let's just say credit,
Yeah.
right? It's like 3%, and inflation yearly is 6 to 9%. So even if you save money,
Yes.
it
And
you
then
don't
you
save
get-
anything, you lose money.
And then you get like a 3 to 4% raise on your salary if
Yeah.
you are lucky, if you're one of the privileged ones.
I mean, the teacher salaries this year was 4.35%.
which is absolutely ridiculous. And then, as you said, inflation goes 6 to 9%. So, ladies and gents, it's like you've been told from the youth, go to school, get good grades, get a college degree, get a decent job. And I mean, you could probably argue that you won't be poor, you'll live comfortably, right? But will you really be that comfortable? Will
I don't
you
agree,
be
right?
that happy?
I mean, you
Explain.
need to be like a manager or CEO somewhere just to live comfortable.
Yes.
I mean, if you're just, I'm sticking to the teacher analogy, right? If
Yes.
you're just 2 teachers, how are you going to raise 3 kids?
There's no way.
I mean,
There's no
just
way.
like school for 1 kid.
Bro, even
Without
one
the
kid,
food.
even one kid.
Yeah, but I mean, just
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
for 1 kid without food, without any extra activities, just the school is like a quarter of your salary, of a teacher's salary.
It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's really, and what's sad is we have now put in our youth all of this time and effort into, getting a good education. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If that is what makes you happy, then respect to you, right? But we've been told that if we do all of this, right? We've been told that by society. We've been told
You
that
will
by
be
our
successful.
parents, you will be successful. And in fact, what I'm seeing these days, when the moment I get out of school and I see all of the kids that were labeled as outsiders or that were labeled as bums are now making more money than the people who had this formal education. So how can we explain that?
On that topic, right? I
Yeah.
don't think it's outsiders or the smart kids that necessarily get the money.
Yeah.
I feel it's the kid with the most discipline who ends up making money.
Yes, sir. And that's another lie that you've been told in your youth, right? We've all been there. We've fallen in the trap of being told that, why do you sit at home all day? Why don't you go out? Why don't you enjoy your life? And we're the type of people that just can't think like that. If I'm sitting somewhere and someone's telling me that, why aren't you enjoying yourself? I'm thinking to myself, why am I even here? What could I be doing with this time instead of spending it here? And that's just, I'm sure that's the way you think as well.
But once again, let's go back. Why is it that you always needed to get out? Why is it that you feel like obligated
you wanted to fit
go
in.
out right now?
You wanted to fit in.
As a kid, your parents said, go out and play so you can make friends.
Yes.
Now, go out and play so you can make friends, because you need other people's like
Validation.
validation just
Yes.
to feel good about yourself. And unfortunately, that's 90% of our world.
Yes.
Too many people are not comfortable with being alone, or too afraid to be alone.
Yes.
And that's why you'll see people in failed relationships stick around, go back to their exes.
They have that fear that if this person leaves me right now, I'm not going to find anyone.
I've got no one.
Yes.
And most people see I've got no one as a negative, and it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you are alone, you've got time to work on yourself. You've got time to start a side hustle. You've got time to do anything you want.
I mean, let's look at it this way. I think a lot of people, including ourselves, a lot of people are in similar situations where they're thankful for the fact that they have a job in this world, in this economy, right?
Especially this country, right?
In this country. But at the same time, we're stuck in, it's a catch-22, because you're thankful, you need to put in the best you can do for that particular company, right? But then you have something that you're also pursuing that you also need to give your 100% to. So how are you going to achieve balance? How are you going to put 100% there and 100% there if you're just one person with one thinking brain, 2 arms, 2 legs? That's the question.
And there's no simple answer. That's where it goes back to discipline. I mean, let's say you work, I'm sticking to teaching once again. For you teachers out there, you usually know it's not just teaching, it's coaching, it's
all the extracurricular, all the extra activities, yes.
All those stuff. So that's where when you get home at 8 p.m. after your coaching session, after a match, that's where the discipline comes in. I mean, are you going to put on a TV, order in McDonald's?
Very easy.
Or that's the easiest thing to do. I mean, I've fallen into that trap. But, or are you just going to stand up, go pursue your side hustle? And 99% of people won't choose the second option.
And another lie that I really want to talk about is when you scroll into Instagram, you see all of these reels talking about, you know what, escape the rat race, escape the matrix, and they make it seem so easy. But what they don't tell you is the amount of effort that really went into something like that.
The amount of hours.
And I think people immediately think that, oh, this must be so easy. I'll just start an affiliate marketing campaign. I'll send a few emails and that's that. I'll start a YouTube channel. I'll grow to 1 million subs overnight.
On that note, I'm actually releasing an affiliate marketing video, just the explanations of it. So make sure to go check that out.
There are a few affiliate marketing videos on the channel already. Make sure you go and check that playlist out.
And no, I'm not going to sell you anything. This is just for in case you like to start.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
Yes. But I think what we want to talk about is they never tell you that I went through this many failures. I had to spend this amount of money. I had to do this marketing.
You actually just mentioned the right word, money.
Yeah.
So when you start any business, unfortunately, you need capital.
Yes.
There are very few businesses where you can start from zero.
Yes.
Like even those videos you see on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever your preferred social is, it's, what can I say? You can't start from zero. There are a lot of videos that say 0 to 100,000 in 1 week. No. And the strats they use work, obviously, but what they don't tell you is they've got a community of 1 million people.
Yes.
So if they do a drop shipping or affiliate marketing, they can quickly sell it and say, listen, here's the results. I got 100K. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
It's not like you could go and let's say you have no community, or you have a community of a few hundred people, right? Which is better than nothing. But now you are under an illusion that all of those people are going to be interested in that product. No, maybe 1% conversion.
I think the actual percentage is between 3 and 5%.
Yes.
Of a community is interested in
your products. Which means that 3 to 5 out of those 100 people will be interested in your product.
And we are just talking about interested. It doesn't
mean
we're
not talking about purchasing. That's maybe 1 or 2 people.
That's usually 1% of your 3 to 5%.
Yes.
So if you've got a community of 100, you're not going to get a sale.
Yes. And that's another lie that I know that a lot of you want to get out of the jobs that you're in. You want to do your own thing, but at the same time, you have to realize that, as he said, it's all about making a decision. If you arrive home, let's say 8 p.m. at night, you have 2 choices, basically. So you can either, let's say, you can eat and you can start working on your side hustle, or you can eat, put on TV, fall asleep eventually, and then just repeat the cycle.
And let's be honest, that's the easiest part.
That's what most people do. But then most people then want to complain about, why am I still stuck here? Why am I still doing what? Where are we going to get extra money? No.
And the other thing, like you said, with working after work, you know, you've got a 9 to 5 and you've got a 6 to 11, but it's not that easy.
I like that, yeah.
And don't think you're going to make it overnight. Don't think, okay, he said this, so now I'm going to try this tonight and start a business and build the entire business overnight. No, you're not going to be able to. It takes years.
If we look at the channel in general, we're much farther than we were a couple of months ago. But we're still, even now, to this day, still putting in hours and hours and hours and hours.
I mean, if you look at our other channel, right? Yes. We started it in 2021.
21, yeah.
And we are currently at 45k, 44, reaching 45.
Yes. And how many videos do we need to upload to get there?
I think we've got over 1,000 videos.
Yes. And at one stage, when we were not working, we were uploading like 10 videos consistently a day. And it's not just the recording and posting it. No, it's the recording it, then it's the editing, then it's the description, then it's the thumbnail, and then it's the posting. 10 videos a day. But that's just an example of the type of sacrifices that you need to be willing to make, irrespective of how tired you are. Tate used to say that a man needs to do what a man needs to do, irrespective of how he feels.
And looking at that, right, you might be in a relationship.
Oh, which is another factor, yes.
It's definitely a factor, because she's always, or he's always going to feel like, listen, I'm being left behind. You're not giving me the attention I deserve.
Yes.
And that's where another difficult conversation comes in. It's like, I can give you the attention. We can watch movies all night long.
That's the
for the rest of our lives, but we are going to stay stuck.
Yes.
We are going to drive our 2020 Corolla for the rest of our, which isn't a bad car, but I mean, for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
We are never going to be able to afford our house.
Yes.
Or you got to have that hard conversation and say, listen, support me.
Yes.
And I promise you, I will get you out of here.
Yes. It's all about, and it's even more difficult if you have someone in your life who initially didn't maybe have that type of mindset, but now that she's with you or he's with you, you're trying to make them understand that. And at the end of the day, if it's a partner for you, they will understand. They will see that you're really putting in the effort, but not only for yourself, but for him or her as well. But I think this was a nice conversation to have. I think a lot of people really needed to hear some of these things, but be aware of the lies that you are told.
Yeah, and let us know what lies you've faced, that, well, things people have told you that turned out to be lies. We'll do another podcast on it.
Yes. What have people told you that you now, when you sit now there and while you're watching this video, you think to yourself, that was actually bullshit? That was actually what? Share your experiences down below. Make sure you share the podcast with friends and family. We'll see you next time.